Pride parades, protests, or parties? Can they be both? By Brandon Elrich. I could really use your support, so I created a yearly subscription for $15, but only through the end of Pride Month, June 2026. Click $15 per year. In the 1950s and 60s, few places existed where people in the LGBTQ community were welcome. Police often raided these establishments and arrested the, quote, degenerates involved. Perhaps because people were taking a stand on other issues, protests against the Vietnam War, civil rights movements, for example, people in the queer community felt more emboldened. The raid on Stonewall resulted in a series of protests by people in the queer community to show that they would no longer be treated like second-class citizens. The following year, cities around the United States hosted marches that became known as Pride parades. It's been over 50 years since the raid on the Stonewall Inn. Some progress has been made, like the Marriage Equality Act and allowing gay couples to adopt. However, some conservative groups and government leaders are still trying to suppress and even erase members of the LGBTQ community. Many people may look at pride parades and pride fests as big parties or celebrations, and they are. For many of us, this is one of the few places where we can dress how we want, have fun with others like us, and be ourselves without fear of judgment. Outside of those gates, it's a different story. I've heard criticisms from conservatives who argue that they should have, quote, straight Pride Month. They just don't get it because they never had to struggle for equal rights. It's another ridiculous notion. They don't like queer people, so they do whatever they can to steal their joy. When I attended my first Pride Fest, I was nervous. I'm not sure why, but it may have been because I didn't know what to expect. I'm a planner, and I like to know what I'm getting into. Also, I was out to some people, but not everyone. I had to remind myself that I needn't fear seeing anyone I knew or was related to, and if I did, they'd be there for the same reason I was. My first experience was at KC Pride Fest in 2019. It was a relatively small festival compared to cities like San Francisco, New York, Chicago, and even St. Louis. This was probably a good thing because I wasn't a huge fan of huge crowds. I attended alone, but I didn't feel lonely or out of place. I was completely surprised by how comfortable I felt while I was there. I saw nothing but happy, friendly, accepting people. It certainly didn't feel like a protest either. Even though it started that way, it's now an organized event with celebrity performers, corporate sponsors, local churches and vendors, and drag shows. I've heard many people in the LGBTQ community say that police don't belong at Pride Fests or parades. This may be an unpopular opinion, but the police presence at Pride Fests today doesn't feel negative. If, God forbid, a shooter started targeting us, the police wouldn't join with the gunman. It's the same way I feel in any public venue like concerts or malls. But if I saw people in masks wearing ICE uniforms, I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge. I don't blame anyone for having a distrust of the police, especially those in the black and brown communities. I'm only saying things are a little different now than they were in the 50s and 60s. Plus, I realize I have a different feeling having an automatic white privilege, gay or not. However, I believe pride is still essential because we haven't reached total acceptance. This administration is trying to take us back to past ideologies, which isn't good. We need to continue showing up to let the world know we're still here. I could really use your support, so I created a yearly subscription for $15, but only through the end of Pride Month, June 2026. Click $15 per year. You can also choose $3 per month or $30 per year. Click 50% off. Or you can upgrade for the full price of $6 per month or $60 per year. Click subscribe now. If you want to consider it first or give a one-time donation, please buy me a coffee. Click buy me a coffee. Either way, I appreciate you.